My name is Jason Simard, and I am the founder of Sims Coaching Systems. I'm here with my co-founder, Joe Moretti, and we're here on the Seven Figure Real Estate Podcast, the podcast you didn't know you even needed. Everyone, get your notepads out. Let's go. We're going to bring you value week over week, and we're actually going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to make you laugh out loud. Subscribe to our channel. Check the content out. If you're looking to take this to a whole nother level, we got you covered. Joe Moretti. Hey, listen. First off, Starbucks, we appreciate you. We're highly caffeinated on Americanos this morning. I don't know what your favorite drink is, but for me, it's Americanos.
Intermittent fasting, cutting off the refined sugar, a nice, strong, nothing in it, Americano, always goes down smooth. Thank you, Starbucks.
Hey, I want to actually put a plug in for one of our newest sponsors, Scotiabank Mortgage Division. Shout out to you guys. We're super excited. This has been years in the making, months in the collaborative stages, and we have closed the deal now. We officially are partnered with Scotiabank Mortgage Division. Excited about the roadshow that we have coming up in May in collaboration with Scotiabank. We're going to be going around to 3 key cities here in British Columbia, and we're going to be spitting some value. Joe, where are we going?
Man, I'm so excited. First week of May, we are going to my hometown Throwdown, Victoria, British Columbia. First week of May, the very first Monday. I think it's the 1st. And then on the Wednesday, the big smoke, baby. We're in Vancouver. We're going to buy some sneakers and hit with some crazy value.
And what do we got going on the Friday?
The Friday, Kelowna,
BC.
Okanagan, interior. You watch out. We're coming for you. So extremely excited. There's going to be passes available. Hit us up if you're interested. You want more detail. There's going to be tons of stuff we're going to be releasing. Lots of exclusive content. We're going to be doing tons of coaching and mentoring and value and just process structure. Man, I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. VIP passes will be available. My guy Jason's going to be signing autographs.
Listen, if you guys want to have dinner with us, hang out. We'll be sticking around in the city and making sure that we have time to mingle and just help you guys in your business. So this is what we love doing. This is what we love doing. Producer Paige.
Sneezing in the background. Must be a cat running around in here or something. I don't know.
Well, you live in a petting zoo, so yeah, you go to Joe's house and literally you're greeted by not humans, but pets. Dogs, cats.
Yeah, it's like going to your house, except the things that come running down the stairs at mine have fur. You just have
mine just have little people coming down.
You have a stampede.
Uncle Joe's here.
You have a stampede of children.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I have as many children as you have pets.
No, I think I still have you outnumbered.
You have me outnumbered? That's impressive.
I've got
the only
you
people that
outnumbered.
have more kids than me are Mormon. Shout out to our Mormon audience. We love you.
We're huge in Utah.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at a lot of our coaching students are from Utah. The Mormons love us.
I got 4 kids for anybody that doesn't know. So, anyways, hey, listen, I got a little bit of a bone to pick this morning.
Oh man, what did I do now?
I want to talk about the importance of good communication. I think it's important when you're married in a relationship that communication is important, right? Like the way you speak to each other. So, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with the ladies. Okay, I'm your biggest fan, but today, I got a little feedback. When you speak in a tone that is highly, highly charged.
Okay, can I have an example?
Yeah, let me give you an example.
Can you please
when I make a mistake,
when
I make a mistake, or I do something that my wife perceives as a mistake that I may not see as a mistake, like giving my kids a granola bar when I didn't know they had one already that day, and you disagree with that decision that I made. Instead of berating me with a text that you're frustrated and angry, let's have a conversation about it later. Let's just say, you know what? Dad made a decision because you know what? Dads are cooler than moms, right? Like we want to be cool. We want to be cool. Like, listen, my son, you know what he said to me the other day and I loved it? He's like, I'm so glad I have a dad. I was like, oh, thanks, son. Like that means a lot to me.
Which kid?
Timmy. Timmy said that. He's like, I'm so glad I have a dad because he got a second granola bar that day that I didn't know he had a granola bar.
Oh my God.
We're big on making sure
if granola bars are the biggest struggle at the Simard house, you guys are doing okay.
But here's the thing.
That's the first thing I'd be saying.
So here's the deal. Always speak in a respectful tone. Like as a husband, for me, it's really important. If you have a bone with me, that's fine. But let's talk about it in a respectful manner, please. Because I am not going to put up with a disrespectful tone, and I don't expect you either to put up. If I was speaking in a very ignorant manner or I was coming off very aggressive and fired up, I would expect you to not want to have a conversation with me either, right? So let's just talk respectfully to one another. Joe, you actually have a tip on how to have better conversations.
Yeah, it's not so much a tip, but it's I heard this the other day, and it really resonated with me, is when you receive something that maybe sort of like triggers you or like spikes that like response, there's two things you can do. You can react or you can respond. Now, in this situation with the granola bar, it was a reaction. Reactions are purely emotional based on how you feel in that moment.
Right.
That is a reaction. Now, a response is typically somewhat calculated based on previous experiences and logic. So the key being, and you make a choice. You actually choose in that moment. And I love when people say, well, I didn't think, I just did. Well, yeah, you reacted based on emotion.
I call that shooting first, asking questions later.
Yeah, or being a jerk. That's also what some people call it, right? So I think it's really important. And as I get older, it's something that I struggle with. Is I come from a family that is very reactive, right? You yell first and you ask questions later. And as I get older, I'm finding that I'm choosing to respond. Now, what that looks like is sometimes just sort of putting my finger up, being like, okay, like, give me a minute. Give me a second. Sometimes people take a breath, count to 10, remove yourself from the situation. But it's that level of acknowledging what you've done in the past, what comes easier, and taking a breath. Now, I think a text message, in some cases, is actually more reactive than it is responding. Because as you're typing that unilateral message, you're like, I don't know if it's like your reticular activating system or whatever it is. I don't know, you can ask Justin White, will tell you. But you're having that argument, and it's like a snowball with yourself. Because I'll tell you, man, I've done that a lot. I've won 100% of the arguments I've ever had in the shower. You ever have an argument in the shower? And you're like, Paige, how about you? You sort of like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to say this. This is what I'm going to say. And you have like the whole argument in your mind win. Because you're building something that's reactive versus actually thinking and having a two-way conversation. And that way you can sort of choose a response based on incoming information. So please, for anybody listening, don't choose to react. And some of the most reactive things are a text message because it is so one-sided.
Man, my wife is notorious for this. So if she gets upset with something that happens and I have to leave the house or whatever.
You get texted.
I get like the 4-paragraph text message. And I'm going to let you in on a secret.
Oh, please. We're going to let everybody in on a secret.
I'm going to let you in on a secret. I don't read them now.
Do you?
I delete them and I don't read them.
You should reply.
Because here's the thing. I know how my wife works. When she's very like in the moment upset, she'll say things she doesn't actually mean. She's very reactive in that moment. So I've learned.
See? Yeah, you're getting it.
I've learned when that happens, I delete it or I don't read it. I purposely don't read it and I don't respond to it. So if you have somebody in your life and you have that sort of cycle with them and that's happening, don't respond.
And if you
or give a one-word response.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Just give a one-word response. Don't feed into it because you're putting a lot of energy. Because here's what I also know about my wife, for example, is if I give her a few hours where she's calmed down and she's no longer that emotional state, she's actually quite intelligent and she's great to speak with. Like we can actually speak about things and she can see my side and we can have a rational discussion. But in the moment when she's very triggered and upset, her IQ drops a lot. There's not a lot of rational thinking that happens. And I know this. So what do? I park it. So we'll come back to it.
I'll tell you, I love how you're using the words react and respond, right? That's the point. Now, if it was me and I got one of those giant messages, do you know what my response would be, Al? What would be? TLDR. Too long? Didn't read.
But seriously, you have to set boundaries. And I think here's the other thing too, right? Because I can speak, I can only speak from a male perspective in a male-female relationship. Women are so smart. They are so intelligent. Like what they might lack in physical strength, they make up with being so smart emotionally. They really are. And as men sometimes, like they're miles ahead of us. And so what I've learned is game respects game. So by me having more of a backbone and setting boundaries, as much as it like maybe heated in the moment, it's way more respected and it's improved communication. See, ideally, if you asked the average straight woman, right? You asked her what her ideal guy looks like. What would she say? Well, if I asked you, do you want him to be taller than you? Ideally, in a perfect world, they would probably say what, Joe?
Absolutely, Jason. I would love a man that's taller than me.
Okay. In a perfect world, this is your perfect man. Would you want a man that makes as much money or more money than you?
More.
Yeah, most women would say they ideally want a man who makes more, right? Do you want a man who has more life experience than you? Ideally, your ideal man.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want a man who is more experienced in life than you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that an equal? Or is that somebody that you're looking at who has those leadership qualities and is a strong leader that could be a strong rock? If you think about it biologically, that sort of makes sense, right? Women want a leader. Well, when we don't act like leaders and they get to walk all over us, what do you think happens to how they view us? Think about that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Right? They start not having the same level of respect. So this is where they start doing things that they don't even realize they're doing because they're so freaking smart. And this is one thing I've learned. Game respects game. So because my wife is she is a strong, independent woman. You've met her, right? She's brilliant.
Yeah, I've met her on
brilliant,
a few
strong, disciplined. Like she's a strong woman. She really is. She comes from her mom had to raise her, be a single mom for a period of time. And so she comes from that type of world, right? Well, that means that I need to be on that level and higher in order to really have her view me with the level of respect that she needs to have the real attraction to me, right? Like, and I didn't realize this for a long time. And I wondered why things weren't going the way that I wanted them to. But since I've really worked on this and understood this like male-female dynamic in psychology, it really has improved a lot of things in my marriage, in my life.
Yeah, good for you.
And so for guys that are listening right now, I hope you're taking note. If you're in a relationship and you feel like you're constantly, just trying to walk on eggshells or you're always just trying to please her, understand that biologically that is going to do the opposite. It's going to turn her off long term. Like, sure, you want to do nice things. You want to be a gentleman and be caring, but you also keep your edge. Don't let her be the leader. You need to keep that edge and be the leader in your relationship because that's what women want. If you ask them what they truly want in a man, they want a strong, capable leader who's a man who balances out their femininity. And if you want your woman to be more feminine, you need to dial up your masculine. Because if you're more in your feminine, she's going to naturally dial up her masculine. That's the way it works. I've been studying this a lot. This last year, I've put a lot of attention into this because I wanted to improve my relationship. I wanted to feel like I was respected. And I'm with such a strong woman that I was like, what is going on here? I was doing what society told me to do. Happy wife, happy life. But that didn't make me happier and it didn't necessarily make her happier. But since I've really worked on this, it's improved things. So I know you've got the best marriage in the world, but again, you are the leader in your relationship. Now, when I say that, people get triggered. They think, "Oh, does that mean he's controlling?" No, you're not controlling.
Oh, Jesus! No.
It's just it's a traditional relationship. Your wife brings that feminine energy that really brings that balance and creates the household and the family, and you bring that provider energy and that stability and security, and you're her rock. And when she's having an emotional moment or whatever, she knows she can go to you, right? That's a beautiful thing. I've always felt like we need to complement and work together.
So I would just like to remind everybody that this episode of Joe and Jason Get Canceled is brought to you by Astroglide Lube. Remember, it ain't going to go in easy if it ain't greasy. I love you, Jay.
Listen, why would I get canceled for this?
No, we're not getting
I want to
canceled.
understand. If you want to cancel me because I'm speaking what I view as truth, please, I want to hear you. I want to hear from you. If you are triggered by what I'm saying, think about it, right? Think about it. Ask 100 women that question. Ask 100 men what they look for. Do they want a woman that's going to walk all over them, that's dominant, No, they want a feminine woman, right? But if we're not acting like masculine and being that strong rock, then of course women naturally instinctively need to dial up their feminine energy or masculine energy to offset that. So anyways, I've put a lot of time into this, and this has nothing to do with real estate, but everything to do.
This is hours and hours. This is research. This is very well researched.
So much research.
I know.
So much research. But it's improved my life, guys. And I have so many guys, if they understood what I understand, because I've been that guy. I've been that guy that felt lonely, invisible in his own relationship. It's not a good place to be. And so I speak about this for guys because I think it's important. If you want to have a better relationship, and ladies, if you want those men that you really want, those strong men that are capable and all the things that you look for, you should be promoting this message and saying, hey, babe, you should listen to this. This actually makes a lot of sense. Sit back and just think about it. What do you want? You want a man who can be a leader and who can be decisive and be there when, things happen. you know he's capable and he's ready to rock. That's what you want. So anyways, I'm going off on a tangent this morning, Joe. Again, this is brought to you by Starbucks. Thank you, Starbucks, our future sponsor. Appreciate you. Americano fueled.
Americano fueled.
Let's give some value though.
Let's give some value, my friend.
So in our academy, one of the things that we've been talking about that I think is a game changer is what we call the 1 paragraph email.
Ooh.
So I want to hit you guys with what this is today. So get your pen and paper out as I'm telling you this 1 paragraph email. I'm going to let you in on a little tip. Okay. We've had students literally on the first email they sent out have multiple responses and book appointments from this. So what I want you to do is once a month, send this out to your database, send it out to your A clients, your B clients, people that you're close to, people that are acquaintances, people that maybe you've met with a long time ago, past clients. You're going to do a 1 paragraph email, and it's going to sound something like this. Hey, Joe, what's new and exciting? Question mark. 1 paragraph about something positive that's going on in your life. Don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it short and sweet.
And non-real estate related.
Non-real-estate
This is
related.
not about are you buying or selling, renovating,
Nothing
refinancing,
to do with that. It's
or
something
anybody
positive. It's like an opportunity for me to get a glimpse at something positive going on in your life. And then you're going to say, what's new with you? Question mark. Attach a little photo with it. Make it very personalized. Send that out once a month. Change it up every month, but send it out. Over the course of a year, that's 12 touches. And what it is, it's like my ability to catch up with you, Joe, without having to go and spend time going and having coffee or doing lunch. It's called a 1 paragraph email. If you guys want a copy, if you guys are curious like what that would look like, message us, info@simscoachingsystems.com. We'll send you a copy of some examples of 1 paragraph emails. But implement this into your follow-up strategy. It's literally one simple strategy that will make massive, massive impact in your business.
Can I talk about it just for a second here? Because this is something that I really enjoy coaching to. Like I really enjoy coaching to. So I had one coaching student. She is in Phoenix, and her name is Amanda. So I went through this process earlier in the week with Amanda. Just said, hey, here's what you want to do. And it was what's new and exciting. Hope you're staying happy and healthy. My son, Jameson, he just had his 9th birthday. And for us in the Phoenix area, we just had the Super Bowl. We had the Waste Management Golf Tournament. And now we have spring training. It is so exciting. And our team's going to a game. Literally, I'm like, that's almost verbatim what the email was. And then at the bottom, it's what's new and exciting with you. What are your plans for the spring? With a beautiful picture of Amanda's son, Jameson, underneath. And I think the biggest thing on that email is that call to action at the bottom. Like, what's new and exciting with you? What are your plans for the spring? With a really nice picture, like a thoughtful picture.
Right.
Like, don't make it something that's like landscape or scenery, like of you. You get people here. And she sent that out. Now, I actually kind of went at it from a different angle. And I said, what I'd like you to do is send this to 50 non-contacted good email. So again, the power of having like your notes and your tags and your categories. So she sent it out to non-contacted with email. And sure enough, I would say 20 minutes later, she sent me a message and she said, Joe, this, excuse me for swearing on a Saturday, this shit fucking works.
Joe, can you say it? This shit fucking works.
Well, I didn't.
The way you said it, you sound like an AI robot.
Yeah, but my mother-in-law's going to start watching this.
care.
My mother-in-law's going to start watching this.
Listen.
So come on.
I need you to say it. Say it properly. What does this work? What does this do?
This shit fucking works.
There you go.
All
That
right.
sounds better. Okay.
So,
thank you.
Very first response was, you know what? That's amazing. I hope to get to some spring training games myself. Happy birthday to Jameson. It's funny that you're reaching out. I know we've never spoken, but I'm now living with a friend because I work in Phoenix and I have to commute. Would I talk to you about a potential move? That's one example. Now, I pushed one of our client care managers, my homie, FW, Freddie Wicks. Freddie did this with a picture of his chickens in his backyard and his cat, Coco. He sends it out and again, batched it out to non-contacted. Did 100 at a time. Freddie messaged me about 48 hours later because, again, I always look them over and kind of help out. I usually try to shrink them down a little bit, make sure the call to action, the picture, and then I go, yeah, good to go. He sent it out. I bet for the 100 he sent out, his response rate was about 35 to 40%.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And he actually sent me.
And these were non-contacted.
This is non-contacted. Non-contacted.
Now, guys, here's the important thing. In your email, you need to have a professional real estate signature tag, though. That's important. Have your address, your phone number, your email, your website, a picture, right? Or your brand, your logo, like have that in your email signature. So if you guys don't have that right now, set it up. You can go to Fiverr, FIVVER.com. You can find somebody probably for $20 who could create one if you don't know how to do it. You could probably easily do it on Canva if you know how to work basic graphic design programs. But it's very important. And so here's something that you could easily do. If you were sending out to people you've never spoken before, you could change it up a little bit. Hey, nice to meet you. We haven't had the opportunity to chat yet, but I wanted you to know a little bit about who I am. As a person. I'm a real person. I live here in Nanaimo. I have a family. I am really big into pickleball and the sports. I'm big into going to the gym. I love helping people with navigating real estate. I put a lot of time and energy in becoming a leader at my craft in my marketplace. Very nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about you. Love to connect. Something along those lines. It's not going to hurt anything, guys. And it's a more humanized way of sort of building a bit of rapport with people that don't know you yet. The more people know you, trust you, the more people will eventually do business with you, because people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
For sure. And it's funny. People ask me all day, every day, drip campaigns follow up. And I say, honestly, I think there's two things that matter. There's two things. Number one is a really great, well-refined search after an amazing conversation. There's nothing better. It's relevant. You've got some rapport, you've got some trust, and you're sending somebody something that they like. That's number one. Number two is that one paragraph email, right? So it speaks to both sides, the people that are looking for something, that want something, that know what they want. It also speaks to the people that are looking for a connection, someone they know, they like, they trust. And it really puts it together. So people stress the drip campaigns so much. And what I try to remind people that at the end of the day, it's not about, I don't give a shit what you send me. I don't give a shit what you say to me. What's important is how you make me feel.
Right.
If you make me feel like you got my best interests at heart, if you make me feel like you cared enough to actually listen to what I said, recapped it, checked for understanding, didn't sell me anything, and sent me something that speaks to what could complete me in my real estate journey, but at the same time actually opened up and told me something about yourself. That's how you would land me. And by sending me a text message every 10 minutes, you're just going to turn me off. So for me, be thoughtful, have intention in what you do, and share something about yourself. Be a human.
I love
just
that.
Be human.
Yeah. Connect with people.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
It's a people business.
It is.
And you'll never, ever go wrong by taking action and connecting with people. So many people are so smart that they're so stupid. I say this all the time.
Yeah.
They get so caught up in, well, what if it doesn't look right? Or, and trying to perfect everything. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they're broke. And it's just I'll tell you, the universe rewards action takers every single time. Do it. Whatever makes you afraid, do it. If it's not perfect, put it out there. Our podcast isn't perfect. My hair isn't perfect. Nothing about me is perfect. And that's what makes it great. Do you know what I'm saying?
Perfection is found in the imperfections, man.
Listen, we wouldn't be sitting here in this commercial space that we've built and own if it wasn't for me taking action. I had to take action in the beginning. I had to have a vision. I could have sat there and been like, oh, I got to make sure everything's perfect. And I literally would have gone broke before I even started. And none of this would be here today. It's because we've taken action. Our podcast, we could have sat there and been like, oh, let's make it all perfect. No, let's just put something out there. Let's give value. Let's speak from the heart. And it's something that we can now build off of, right? Your work that you start with isn't going to be your best product. We know that. We know that it's going to get better. But look at any great company. Do you think Apple's first phone was the best product that they've put out there? No, but they had to put out a product. You start somewhere. So understand that you're always going to be in what I call beta mode, which means you're always tweaking and you're going to be improving. And so tomorrow, your goal should be just a little bit better than what you are today. And it's constant incremental improvements over time that are going to help you be the best version of yourself. Speaking of that.
So let me just say,
Can I say something on this? But go ahead.
Alpha Jason in beta mode. That should be the title of this podcast.
Alpha Jason in beta mode. Absolutely. So I got a bit of a bone to pick with you.
You always have a bone to pick with me.
I do, man. I do.
You
I got to get this off my chest.
Oh, my God. You always have a bone to pick with me.
I know that I may have hurt your feelings a little bit this last week when I said something to you, but I want to clarify it so that you understand. I looked at you in the eye, and I said this, and I said, Joe, you're at a 5 out of 10 out of your potential.
That was like 2 weeks ago, man.
Yeah, I said that to you. And I caught myself feeling guilty. I did. I caught myself feeling guilty. I was like, I'm like probably going to hurt his feelings. And so I explained to you, I was like, listen, the reason I'm saying that, Joe, is I look at you, I see a lot of upside. You have so much upside. It's crazy to me. And when I say that I feel you're at a 5 out of 10 out of your potential, it's not to hurt your feelings. It's not to be a dick. It's because I love you. You've become like a brother to me. I never actually had a biological brother. You've become that, right? Mm-hmm. I have like a handful of guys in my life that are like brothers to me. And you, my friend, are in that boat. So I want you to know that. And because of that, that means that I'm going to speak to you in a manner that's like, listen, bro, you're fucking up. The way your little brother or big brother would talk to you, I'm going to say, listen, you are not the best version of you. I see the improvements. I'll be honest with you. When I first met you, you were maybe at a 2 out of 10 out of your potential. You've come a long way. But I'm so excited because I see, you were at a 2 out of 10 out of your potential.
I'm thinking
2 out of 10 out of your potential.
Sure,
so you're looking at that like, oh, he thought I was a loser. No, man, I saw a freaking diamond in the rough.
You saw the upside. You saw the upside.
I saw a ton of upside.
You also bought low. I'll give you that too. So how is this a bone to pick, man?
Well, it's not even a bone. Maybe, but you know, you've been a little bit, maybe, I don't know, cold. I don't know.
What?
Well, I don't know. Did it hurt? Did it hurt? Like, I want you to tell me, like, did that hurt your feelings?
What are you, a fucking psychiatrist now?
I just want to know. Did it hurt your feelings?
No, not at all, man.
Did you take it the wrong way? No. Like, did you take it the way I intended, which was to say,
yeah, of course.
Listen, I see.
But here's
your
the thing:
genius,
is you didn't just provide that as content; you also added context. Because you were like, well, Joe, geez, maybe I'm a 5.5. Because I was like, well, if I'm a 5, what are you? And you're like, probably a 5.5. Okay, well, that's context, right? So maybe if I was a 2 out of 10, and you would have been like a 3.5 or a 4. So I think that it's also context.
Right.
So was I butthurt about it? No. Well, I was. I was like, what the hell, man? Until I was like, well, what about you? And you went 5.5, and I was like, okay, now I understand where you're coming from. So no, man, I wasn't like, no, I wasn't.
But you
upset
get
at
that,
all,
right?
Because you provided context.
Okay.
If you had just said, Joey, you're a 5 out of 10, I would have been like, huh? But you, again, context. So the context was important.
So here's the thing: everybody's always looking for the pat on the back to make themselves feel better. I didn't grow up in a household where you'd get the pat on the back, at least not from my dad, right? It's like, and I found that as I get older, I'm probably not that guy that's giving you the pat on the back as much as you need because I see your potential.
I want the kick in the ass, man. I don't want the pat on the back.
Well, and it's funny because I'm motivated by hard truth, you know? Like, I'm motivated by that. Like, just tell me the hard truth. Don't fluff it up for me. Tell me the hard truth, you know? If I earn like a compliment, make sure I earned it. Don't just give it to me because you're just trying to fluff things up to make me feel better. I don't want the pity compliment. Mm-hmm. I want something that I actually like had to do something to earn it, if that makes sense. And so I know that those are going to be far and few in between, and that's okay. But like, I'd rather get the hard truth. And that's what I want. Like, I want to surround myself with people that can tell me the hard truths, right? That where we can care enough about each other that I could say, listen, I see your genius, man. I believe in you, right? And then it's up to you if you want to walk through, if you want to take that feedback and see the gift in it and make something of yourself or be better, or, you know, let it demoralize you. That's totally up to you. I've become close enough with you where I can have those conversations.
Oh, yeah. And I appreciate it because, again, I react very favorably to a kick in the ass more than I actually react to what I've done well. Like, tell me what I've done wrong and then I can fix it.
Right.
Just tell me.
You hate compliments. You love them and hate them. He doesn't know how to take them.
I can't take them. I'm always just like,
he's like, yeah, I'm just a squirrel looking for a nut.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else to say because I actually genuinely feel uncomfortable with compliments.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing.
But I got to tell you, I'm really, really proud of like literally the transformations that you've been making over the years. Like working side by side with you, you are an improved version of the Joe Moretti I met 4 years ago. Like you are an improved version of that guy.
Apparently if I've gone from a 2 to a 5, I'm feeling pretty fucking good.
That's a big improvement. But could you imagine though, here you are and I tell you, let's say I was like lying to you. It's like, you're a 10. You and I can't, there's no way you would even believe me if I said that.
Well, a 10 would be you can't get any better. like you're capped out. So for me, I always want to be better. I always want to be better tomorrow than I am today. Everybody should. If you're listening to this, you should as well. That's simple.
Stop looking for people to just tell you what you need to hear to be comfortable. Get people to tell you what you need to hear, and then just like take it as a gift. Just do me a favor. After you're done being butthurt, because I get hurt too when people give me feedback, take it away, weigh it carefully, and try and seek the gift, because there's always a gift in feedback.
So how about this? Respond. Don't react.
Yeah, that's the message today.
There you go.
Respond, don't react.
Gotta say, man, I love hanging out with you. You're, like I said, you're not my friend, man. Like we're brothers at this point. So I really value this. And at some point, these will be in the archives, and someone will look back and go, look at those two idiots. And I'm excited for that day.
I love it. And you know what? Thank you for just allowing me to be me. You know, I know that I say things that could trigger some people because I stand for something, but understand that that's more of a problem with you than anything. If you can't hear a different perspective to your own, and you get so triggered that you have to go and try and cancel that person or offend that person, that's more your problem than their problem. Like I understand there's gonna be people that don't see the world the exact same way as me. I have people that I work with, friends that I'm close to, that don't see the world exactly the way that I do. And guess what? We're still friends.
Yeah.
We love each other. We might have the odd passionate discussion. That's okay. That's the world we need to live in. We have to be able to agree to disagree. Could you imagine if we lived in a world where we're the same? It wouldn't be a world. We'd be all robots. That's not what you want. We got to be able to have disagreements, talk about them, communicate in a respectful fashion, and then be able to say, you know what, Joe, let me take that away and let me weigh it carefully. I promise you this. I'm going to take it away and I'm going to really reflect on it, and then I'll get back to you. Then what you do is you wait till you're not in an emotional state, because your IQ drops a lot when you're in an emotional state. If you think about every bad decision you've ever made in your life, they were all done in an emotional state. So stop making business decisions in an emotional state.
Stop being reactive.
Don't be reactive. Take the time, step back, wait till you're in a non-emotional space, and then reflect on what things happened. Look at it from an outside perspective. Look at it from the other person's perspective, and you'll make better decisions. So many of you are blowing up your businesses or making decisions that are literally going to be catastrophic in your life because of being reactive. Don't do it.
Love it.
Don't make emotional decisions.
Don't do it.
All right, guys.
Until next time.
Subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you. Feedback, questions. If we haven't worked with you yet, we'd love to have an opportunity to at least see if what we do could really make the impact that you need in your business. We're making massive impact in a lot of lives right now, and we are looking for more people that we can do that with. Our Sims Academy has been a huge success. We have so many success stories happening right now. If you want to know more about them, reach out to us. But yeah, as always, it's a pleasure. Thanks, guys.